This time of the year on 30A is always a good moment to zoom out and take stock of what's really happening in the market. November, it tends to give us some of the clearest signals all year, especially once things cool off and the pace shifts just enough to separate momentum from noise. What is up, everyone? It's Colin Berry here again with the Simpson Group at Christie's International Real Estate, Emerald Coast. And if you're new here, I work all along 30A, and alongside real estate, I also run a private home management company called Reside 30A. That gives me a different perspective, not just on what's selling, but how homes are actually being lived in and cared for once the seasons change. The weather cools off, the crowd thins out just enough, owners are starting to head home, and what you're left with is a market driven by less urgency and more intention. So, let's walk through what November really looked like. Starting off on the east end of 30A, absorption rate in November came in around 10.7%, slightly lower than last year, but when you zoom out year to date, absorption rate is actually up about 24% compared to 2024, which tells us demand didn't disappear, buyers just became way more patient. Our average list price for active homes in November sat just around $2.8 million, slightly below last year, and year to date, pricing has come back to a more realistic place. Average sold price for November was about $2.29 million compared to $2.45 million last year. That's not a market falling off, it's a market recalibration. You really get to see that in days on market. Homes are averaging about 192 days, up from 133 last November. Buyers are taking their time, asking better questions, and negotiating more, especially in the fall and winter months. That said though, activity is still strong. 77 homes sold on the East End in November compared to 65 in November last year. And year to date, we're ahead of 2024 with 805 total sales versus 753. And just like last year, 6 homes have traded over $5 million or more this month. One more important piece, new listings are down year to date with 769 homes in 2025 versus 812 in 2024. Less new inventory has helped keep values supported even as timelines stretch out. Now shifting to the west end of 30A. Average list price for active homes in November came at around $2.18 million, up from about $1.84 million last year. Year to date, our active pricing is up roughly 7%. Average sold price in November was lower year over year, but when you zoom out, average sold price year to date is actually higher than 2024. Median days on market improved though, 122 days this November compared to 135 last year. Sales volume was almost identical this month, with 20 homes sold versus 21 last year. But here's the key number. We had 27 additional homes that are currently pending on the West End this month in November. We also saw 66 new listings come on compared to 53 last year, giving buyers more options while still keeping good homes moving. Camp Creek, it continues to stand on its own out there. Our average list price for active homes in November was around $5.53 million, up from $5.2 million last year. Year to date, our average list pricing is up roughly 11%. Average sold price year to date is just over $5 million. That's also higher than 2024 in Camp Creek. Pricing here moves depending on what's being purchased. Is it a finished product, a lot, or a home site with plans where buyers can come in and finish the final product to what they like? There are 17 active listings right now in Camp compared to 9 last year. We had 4 listings come on in November alone. Year to date, 9 homes have sold in Camp Creek. We're averaging about $905 per square foot. That's ranging roughly from the high 700s to just over $1,100 a square foot, depending on the quality and level of finishes. The highest sale in Camp Creek reached $6.1 million. Active listings are averaging around $997 per square foot, with a widespread like I said, depending on the build quality and the level of finishes. WaterColor had another solid month. 9 homes sold this month, up from 8 last year in November, and year to date, sales are up as well. 63 in 2025 compared to 55 in 2024 at this time. Those November sales averaged around $1,042 per square foot. Inventory is tighter than last year, with 42 active listings now compared to 57 at this time in 2024. Active pricing is averaging around $1,138 per square foot. We also saw 11 new listings and 5 go pending in November, which is strong activity for this time of the year. Alys Beach continues to move in its own rhythm. Average list price year to date sits just under $7 million, up from about $6.38 million in 2024. Median sold home prices to date are also up meaningfully. Only 1 property closed in November, but 2 more are currently pending, and those 2 are $5 million and over. Inventory is tighter, with 29 active listings now compared to 35 last year. Most of those are single-family homes, averaging around $2,400 per square foot. Now, let's talk what everybody's wanting to talk about, those Gulf fronts. There are currently 40 active Gulf front single-family homes along 30A, 23 on the east side, 17 on the west. On the east end, average active pricing is about $2,900 a square foot, but that number spans a wide range depending on whether the home is a teardown, new construction, or located in a planned community like Alys or a non-rental neighborhood like Camp Creek Point. 2 Gulfront homes closed on the east end in November, one around $1,300 per square foot and the other just over $3,100 per square foot, which was in Rosemary. Year to date, 19 Gulfront homes have sold on the east end, averaging about $2,300 per square foot. On the west end, none closed in November, but 10 have sold so far year to date, averaging about $2,100 per square foot. Across both ends of 30A, 29 Gulfront homes have sold year to date, averaging about $2,282 per square foot, with a wide range, like I said, depending on the conditions, the stage of the home, and the location. And that's really the theme from November. This market didn't slow down, it settled in. Buyers are more thoughtful, sellers who are realistic are getting rewarded, and the opportunities right now tend to go to the people who are actually paying attention. If you know someone who follows the 30A market closely or someone who's trying to understand it before it gets too late, this is a good one to share with them. And if you want a closer look at your neighborhood or what all of this means for your home specifically, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll be back with more market recaps, neighborhood deep dives, and behind the scenes insights on 30A real estate. So keep an eye out for more what is coming next.